Hey y'all. Hello. Pray everyone is doing well today. Hopefully you guys can hear me pretty good today. You can't hear me, that's for sure, because something is showing in the background. Okay, I'm looking a little blurry. Oh, here. Okay. Alrighty. How are you guys doing? Has everyone had a pretty decent day today? So tonight's topic, y'all know I don't do any, editing. I kind of give you the raw version of who I am, and I just felt tonight was a good night to talk to you about something that I don't want to say plagues me, but something that I live with daily. It's something that I was born with. Truthfully, nothing that I could do to not have to deal with it. I didn't even know about it until I got until 2014, and that's when when I say we, my husband and I had to decide what we were going to do to not be, I don't want to say faced with it, but how we were going to proceed further in life. One of the things is I had my daughter, Desi, at the time when I did find out, and Desi was all of 3 years old, and I had to make a decision. We had just gotten her diagnosis in 2013. My grandmother passed away in 2014, and I found out at the end of 2014 that I had an illness, some say disorder, diagnosis of Arnold Chiari Malformation. When I heard the name, I was confused. That's just me being honest, because I didn't know what it was. When I was told that I needed to see a neurosurgeon, I was like, okay, because I'm young, right? I got to figure out what's going on in my life. I got to figure out how to be here for my children, because I'm not trying to leave them early. I'm not trying to not be a part of their life. So went to the doctor. It is kind of crazy because it all went hand in hand. My grandmother passed June 30th, 2014. That she passed on a Monday. That Wednesday morning, I woke up and I thought I was about to die. It was one of the worst headaches I'd ever experienced in my life. It was throbbing in the back. I couldn't see. like I'd never experienced anything like that. Now, 7 days prior to that, I spent all the time with my grandmother that I could because we knew that her time was coming. And so, for me, I didn't think anything of it. I went through that phase. I would say that was one of the most spiritual phases of my life, because I got to sit there with my grandmother. The message that stuck with me was Nehemiah and how he was on the wall and doing a great work. And at that time, I was also caring for my stepbrother who had an aneurysm, or they call it a stroke. He had a major stroke and several minor strokes. And so he had to have someone to care for him. And I did. Around the time my grandma got sick, we had to find him somewhere to live because his roommate was ill. He had to go back into the hospital because some things were going on with him. And I was like, just stay in the hospital. Let me take this time with my grandmother because I'd really been spending all my time with him. And the truth is I had kids. So I was doing the best that I could do. And he was hard-headed. My grandmother, we went through that phase, and it was that Monday, and I'll never forget. Hey, content. I'll never forget standing there with her, holding her. I didn't even realize how long I stood there, but she started transitioning probably around 10, a little after 10. And it was official a little after 1, but the entire time I was bent over and I had my arm cuffed under her head, and I was holding her because I told her that I wasn't going to leave her side. So all of that happened, transition happened. I was okay. Didn't feel any type of way. I wasn't suppressing any type of feelings. Wasn't worried about my stepbrother because he was where he could be taken care of and he was getting the things that he needed. So I thought I was fine. So that was Monday. That Tuesday, at my grandmother's house, I was just sitting there and my head started to hurt, but it wasn't horrible. So I'm thinking, okay, we've had these last really 7 days have been stressful. It's been a lot, maybe that's what it is. And I remember taking like an ibuprofen or something sitting at the table. I made it home that night and I could not sleep. I mean, it was a really bad headache and I tried to hold out. And finally, by that morning, I was like, babe, I need to go to the hospital. And so I got up to take a shower. And during that process is when like my body just did something that like I didn't know who I was. Like, and when I say that, like I'm strong, I can trust me for me. If I can't trust anybody else, I can trust me for me. But that didn't happen. My vision started doing some funny things and it just got harder and harder. And so we had to call the ambulance to come and get me. When I got to the hospital, they treated me for migraines and that was it. I mean, I had migraines when I was younger, so didn't think anything additional of it. Truthfully, I just thought I hadn't had one since I was like 22. So I didn't think anything of it. And I later, throughout that year, kept experiencing these headaches, but the headaches not only continued, but I started having debilitating issues like body not feeling centered, ears continuously ringing, hands, feet, arms, legs going numb, just an array of not being able to say my words. I've always been like I don't want to say a wordsmith. I don't even know if that's a real term, but like I when it comes to writing, I could always write how I feel. And even when it came to expressing myself, I could always express how I feel. But it was like the words would be right there and I couldn't get them out. So we went into like December, I believe it was, and I was being followed by a neurologist. And the neurologist, after finally doing, I believe it was an MRI, he came back and told me that I had Arnold Chiari Malformation. I was like, okay, well, what do I need to do? This is something I need to take. And he was like, no, the only way you'll fix that is I have to refer you to a neurosurgeon. And I was like, okay, well, can I think about it? He was like, well, no, I'm going to go ahead and refer you to the neurosurgeon. And then when you get to the neurosurgeon, you guys can talk about it. And so I'm like, well, can you even explain to me what it is? And so he tried. The simplest way to put it, and this is how we say it, is my brain is too big for my head. And so part of my brain was seeping into my spine. And as it was seeping into my spine, it was pressing down on my spinal cord. And you know that the spinal area, the neck, all of that controls the rest of the body. You'll often hear women say, and even preachers, men sometimes say, the man is the head, but women don't forget you the neck. Because truthfully, this is important. It's important. It houses some great stuff. So I went to the neurosurgeon and he basically told me there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. With Arnold Chiari, there's different levels. You have a 1, you have a 2, and then there's like a third level, but it's like Eleanor's something. And also between the 2, it depends on if you're born with it, or I think like you can have some type of accident, something that will cause it, but mine was congenital. I was born with it. What I find interesting is my youngest daughter, has had MRIs just about every year of her life, except for the last 2 years. She's had it spaced out, and no one ever said anything to me about her having Arnold Chiari Malformation. And this last MRI that they did last year, she has it too, which freaks me out because she's nonverbal. And so I know the pain and things that I experienced. But as a child, and let me try to, because I don't want to seem like I'm sad or something, because I'm not sad. This is life. As a child, I've told you guys before, I was a tomboy. Like, I did everything. I climbed trees. I rode bikes. I could walk my bike. I've fallen off my bike. I've had cherries on my chin from falling off my bike. I rode skateboards. I have cherries on my chin. Had cherries on my chin from that. I kept they used to call them a hickey, but now I guess that's the whole Nick thing. But the big lumps on my head, like majority of my childhood pictures are that way because I stayed in the stuff. And so, hi Jam Dung. Thank you for coming by to show me some love. Hey Crystal G. Yes, you made it. So I didn't have a lot of issues like as a child outside of breaking things, and I broke stuff because I got into stuff. Yes, I had a lot of them because I stayed in stuff. And so when I went to see the neurosurgeon, he told me that there was no way to correct it but to have surgery. And what surgery entailed was them cutting me from the occipital bone of my head, which is like basically the middle. If you put your hand in the back of your head, right where your head takes a dip, I would call it, that's your occipital bone. That's the bottom of it. And they'll cut you from there to about right. It depends on how low your tonsils, which is the cerebellum, is hanging, how low they may cut it. So I was like, I told him, I said, I need to think about it because I have a daughter. She has autism. She's busy. There's no way my husband can do this by himself. And so thankfully, with my husband being in a fraternity, he has brothers that was, hi Rosie. that's doctors. One's a chiropractor and one is a pain management specialist. So I went to the chiropractor first, and he tried, but the pain didn't get better. It just continued to get worse, and not in a bad way. Like he tried, but what was happening and that I didn't know was happening was that the tonsils don't stay at a particular place. They can continue to fall. And so did that for about a year. And then we went to see his other frat brother that is a pain management specialist. I was like, if I could just get help with the pain until Desi's older, then I can get it done. Well, we go see him, and that was less than a 10-minute visit. He looked at my MRI and he immediately said, no, you got to have surgery. And I was like, but he was like, mm-mm. He said, some people, it's maybe. He was like, but you, no, you have it. You need to fix it, because you don't want any further damage. Because here's the thing. With Arnold Chiari Malformation, when you get the surgery, and it's called the brain decompression surgery, they also call it a duroplasty surgery. It doesn't correct the symptoms that you have. So I still have the numbing of my arms and legs and fingers, and I still have headaches, not as often. I still have brain fog. I still have moments where I'm unbalanced. And so for me, it was kind of scary because here I have this little girl that I have to take care of. I have 4 kids now, but the older children for me I knew would be okay, but it was like this little girl that can't speak, can't, what's gonna happen? And so when he explained it to me the way that he did, I was like, okay. And so I immediately went ahead and scheduled the surgery. When I scheduled the surgery, thank you, Crystal G. Hey, CeeLo. When I scheduled the surgery, well, I didn't schedule it. The doctor scheduled it. It was for June 24th. So yesterday was the 4-year anniversary of my first brain decompression surgery. Because at the time I was afraid, but I know that I am very thorough in asking questions, especially when it's dealing with medical issues. I asked the doctor every question that there was, right down to, hey, Chris Thorns, how are you? Right down to, have you ever had anybody whose body rejected the duroplasty? And he said, in all my years, I've never, and I've been doing this, it was like almost 30 some, 40 some, really more than my life. And so I was like, okay. And I asked that question because I know that my skin is sensitive. It's been that way since I was a child. I can break out easily. I can, things make me itch easily. I can't explain it, but that's why I asked. And you just remember that piece. So the surgery was scheduled for June 24th. To say that I was not afraid would be a lie. I knew that I was going in to an operating room to have my head cut on. And I wanted to make sure that I came out, but that wasn't, a guarantee. I had to be up at 5 that morning. Hi, Kevin. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm new subscriber, subbed after listening. Oh, thank you, Rosie. My youngest daughter has autism, and so she's currently nonverbal. I believe she will start speaking within her own time. But thank you. Thank you. Hello, Kevin. So we got up that morning. I had to be there at 5. I'd already talked to my kids, told them I loved them. It wasn't a goodbye, you know, tell them I'm gonna be okay, I'm gonna be fine, doing what mamas do. And I really felt like I was gonna be okay. But I knew it was serious because, mind you, I'm in my second marriage. But that morning, my ex-husband, their father, called me to pray for me and to let me know that he was praying for me. My father-in-law called me to pray for me, which was his dad, to let me know that he was praying for me. And that morning, when I was carried out to the operating room by my ex-husband's father's best friend. So all of those let me kind of know that it was I knew that it was serious, but I was trying not to allow it to consume me. Because honestly, at that point, it was nothing I can control. It was one of those that was beautiful and that beautiful and scary all at the same time. Especially coming, yeah. My father-in-law, yeah. The daddy, yeah, that was scary. But I knew that I couldn't control anything. I knew that it was either have this surgery or not have the surgery and take the chance of losing my eyesight, take the chance of losing the activity of my limbs. And it took my husband's frat brother basically breaking it down to me like that to make me say, okay, I got to do this. Because again, I want to be around for my kids. So went into the surgery, and I do have pictures. They are kind of graphic. Debating if I'm really going to show them to you. The reason it's individuals who've had the decompression surgery are referred to as zipper heads is because literally the cut goes straight down and it crosses over like a zipper. So be them using stitches, staples, whatever, you're still gonna get that look. My older brother is nonverbal too, but he understands us. He has a mix of cerebral. Ah, Rosie, so does my brother. He's 30. He lives with me now. Wow, God. Yeah, he lives with me now. My mom passed in 2017, and he lives with me. And he has cerebral palsy, autism, and he's nonverbal. Wow. I lost my train of thought, but wow, God. So where was I? That is pretty cool, Rosie. Pretty cool. That is awesome. Let's see. Okay. So went into surgery. And y'all know how that happens. You go in, if you've ever had surgery, you go in, they give you the stuff and you go to sleep, and then you wake right back up, even though you've probably been out a while. And so when I came out, I was in the worst pain of my life. So the way that they do this, yeah, Crystal, it'll all come out eventually over the channel. From this to, it's so cool to connect with you too, Rosie, especially being a caregiver and then of siblings, and then yeah, definitely. I was in the worst pain that I'd ever experienced. And I had my last daughter via emergency C-section, and I was prepped with an epidural for a natural birth. And yeah, the anesthesiologist hadn't made it to give me the medicine for the C-section, but the doctor could not wait. And this pain was worse than that. So, couldn't lift my head off the pillow. I'm in excruciating pain. I noticed I went into the operating room with 1 IV. I came out with 3. They kept pumping me with pain meds, but I was in pain. Even in the back of my head, I felt like water or fluid as if it was leaking on me, but it wasn't. My husband kept saying that it wasn't. He was like, "No, babe, nothing's leaking, nothing's leaking." So the way the surgery happens is they lay you face down on a table and they make the incision. I'll put some links in the description if y'all want to see it. They make the incision, and once they make the incision, they basically cut out a little piece to make space for your brain so that it doesn't continue to fall. But then they put this duroplasty type thing, this artificial, on it to keep it in place, basically. And I promise you, that probably just went, yeah, but that's the best way I can explain. So went through that, came out in much pain. And I remember just really crying out, and my husband trying to be the advocate for me, because mind you, we still have kids and me. Thank God for my mom at the time and my brother, although my mother was sick. And so my brother had to, it was a lot. And so went through that. I end up meeting someone at my church, that a guy that actually also has it. He opted not to do the surgery, and is just kind of waiting it out. So what I had to come to grips with was, one, that not having surgery wasn't an option. So after the surgery, my life's supposed to be better, right? No headaches, no pain, maybe minor back aches, but that's it. No, not the case. For 3 months, I had issues with lifting up my head. I had issues with walking. I had issues with taking a shower and my legs just giving completely out. It was a moment where I could not trust my body at all. And even now I have days where I can't trust my body, and I know it, and it frustrates me. It frustrates me so bad, because though I don't have to control the world, or though I don't have to control anybody else, I want to be able to control me. And there are some days that I just can't know if ends buts about it. And so to somebody else, it can look lazy. To somebody else, it can look trifling. To somebody else, it could look like I'm depressed. It can look like so many things, and truthfully, it's just pain and me not wanting to take medicine. So went through this. June 24th was the first surgery. Went through that surgery. Had a lot of complications. Like, couldn't stand sound. I mean, my kids couldn't even play basketball outside. No TV, no light, no sound, nothing. The nurses were treating me as if I was a drug addict, because the pain wouldn't go away. And what we found out 2 days after the first surgery is that all of my IVs were blown. So I probably was getting some medicine, but it wasn't giving me that fast acting relief that it would have given me had my IVs not been blown. And I'm not a person that complains. I don't believe in complaining. So if I'm hurting, I'm hurting. Like, I don't just say I'm hurting to say that I'm hurting. One, because I don't even like to depend on anybody else. Which probably need therapy for that. I don't know. But yeah, I don't even like to depend on anybody else. So it was a rough time for me. But in that interim, I'm thankful. My church came through. They were preparing meals for my family. My friends came through. They took on my baby as if she was theirs, taking her to school, therapy at the time, picking her up from therapy. We had to cancel some therapies. In that time, we realized that, and I'll never forget it because I counted the number up. It took 14 people to replace me. 14 people to step in and help and replace me in order for my house to still run the way that it needed to run while I was down. And I say that to just kind of hang my hat right there to say, if you're a stay-at-home mom, don't feel bad about that. If you're home with your children and you're caring for your children and you're nurturing for your children and you're making sure that the house runs properly, don't feel bad about that. It took 14 people to replace me. And for me, it was like, wow, God, because I went through a period of feeling so insufficient because I hadn't finished college, because I hadn't achieved everything that everybody felt like I should achieve. I hadn't met all the expectations that was placed over my life, or felt like I wasn't answering all the callings that God had put out for me. And God used that time to show me that, no, honey, you're here with a purpose. And right now, this is your purpose. Right now, this is your assignment. And so I was ready to get back to my assignment. Being down was not what I liked at all. So it was like the second week of July, I had to go back to the hospital. There were so many return visits to the hospital. One time it was so bad that I ended up getting palsy where my hands and my feet just locked up and there was nothing I could do but cry. It was one of the worst hospital experiences I've ever had in my life. To this day, I hate to drive past the hospital because it's the same hospital my mom passed in. It's the same hospital that I had, that my experience in. I hate it. No ifs, ands, buts about it. I'm sorry, because I don't want to ignore the chat. And I saw something. It's cool to connect with you. Hey, TR News and Reviews. How are you? Kevin, thank you for coming in. Content, of course, I thank you for coming in. Rosie, I'm so glad that we connected as well. CeeLo, I may have missed this part, but are there screenings that doctors can... No, because Desi's initial MRIs didn't even show that she had it. And then it was just this last recent MRI where the doctor caught it. CeeLo says, when I grow up, my dream job is stay at home mommy sanitizer. AW says, you're victorious beyond measure. To God be the glory. And yeah, to God be the glory. And so it was rough. I had an 11-day stay at the hospital. And this wasn't surgery. Like surgery, I can't even remember how long I stayed, maybe 5 to 7 days. But then I came home. I was not good, y'all. Like, I was not good. And it was so scary because I was a mom and, I had Desi, and she had gotten so that she would put her iPad at my door and get all of her toys. And my door would have to be closed because she couldn't come in with me. She would put all of her toys at the door, and I'd hear her iPad, and she'd get her pillows and her blankets, and she'll just lay at my door, and my door was closed. It was hard. And I wanted to be able to interact with my children. I wanted to be able just to enjoy the little things of life. And so those are the parts that I'm going to share with you guys. One, let's talk about an invisible illness. There are so many illnesses. There are so many disorders that you cannot see. And with that being said, we have to be very careful about what we say about people, because we don't know what we'll go through. So, let me see if this is it. One quick second. Okay. So I am going to share with you guys the pictures. Hi, is it Crew Gina? Hello. Hey, the positive mukbanger. How are you? Thank you so much for putting the thumbs up. Let me say this, if you guys, just to let you know, and Dre, if you could put it in the chat, just a warning, graphic images is to me is not that bad, but I don't know what anybody can stomach. So I just want to kind of give you guys a heads up. Yes, Crystal. Or no, CeeLo. Yes, our picture. One quick second, y'all. Hold on. Let me see. CeeLo said I'm nervous. I don't know if it's that bad, but I may not be able to. I'm trying. Let's see. Share screen. Application. I'll share these. Let me see. Okay. Okay. It's not that bad. All right. So this is me after my very first surgery. Okay, tell me if you guys can see it. All right. So As you can see, my hair was in twist. And they had to shave my head. And so this is the occipital bone. This is kind of the tail end. Actually, that's the bottom of it, but they went up a little further. And then the second time they had to go up even further. But this is where the incision starts. This is where it stops. If you notice, this is fluid. This is fluid. There's even a little fluid there, which is spinal fluid, if I didn't share that part either. And so what happens is when those pockets fill up, or when it fills up, it thank you. When it fills up, it causes your spine to press. So that's why to be compressed. So that's why they call it a brain decompression surgery. Oh, Alicia. So here's another picture of me, and I'm holding my head because it was hurting. Like, I can't explain what it was like to never be able to feel comfortable, to never be able to just feel like yourself. And when I tell you, my husband is the most patient man. He sat with me. And actually, this date here is it's a complete year after the second surgery. And I didn't tell many people that I had to have surgery. CeeLo thought we would help curb that late night appetite. Walking miracle. Now that part I will agree with. So these are some things that you'll sometimes find in groups of individuals with Arnold Chiari. My brain is bigger than yours. I have proof. Somebody send that to TR. I am a brain surgery survivor. I know pain. I know fear. I know tears. I know loneliness. I know confusion. Y'all, confusion is, yeah. I know the frustration. I know the loss of friends. I know financial insecurity. I know the loss of self. I know these issues. I know all these things, and I survived them, and I did. We're not called survivors by chance. This is just a butterfly with a zipper, but that's typically like the symbol that most people use. People even get tattooed back there. I don't ever want anything back there. Not a needle, and I have tattoos, so I'm not even. No, I'm good. I don't even have to have a henna tat back there to just no. Don't put nothing back there. I don't even like for the clippers to really give me a good line. But this is something that I just shared during the year after. Oh, that's my sweet baby. Let's see what else is in here. What does Kyary mean? Simple answer. My brain fell out of my head. And so, yeah, that's a good one. Kyary, the pain doesn't go away. You just make room for it. And that is true. There's not a cure for Kyary. While there are no guarantees with surgery, it is the only way to halt further neurological damage and to possibly alleviate symptoms. Some patients do experience relief or reduction in their symptoms. Other patients may not achieve any symptom relief. Nerve damage that has already occurred may not be reversed. And that's what happened to me. And that's why I had the surgery, to prevent it from happening further. Chiari malformation can break even the strongest man, and that's true. So imagine how hard it must be for our smallest fighters. Your voice can help make a difference. And this is for children, because there are children that experience the pain that I experienced. Just different, because again, September 30th was my 1 year anniversary from the second surgery. And September is Kyary Awareness Month. I also think it's like rare disorder months. I'm not sure, but I know for sure it's also Kyary Awareness Month. So, Chiari Malformation. Now, a serious neurological disorder whereby the lower part of the brain is crowded and descends into the spinal column, compressing the spinal cord and brainstem, restricting the normal circulation of the cerebral spinal fluid, and causing various neurological symptoms. Another, just go purple, September. That's the end. Made this post a year later, and it says September is Arnold Chiari Malformation Month. On June 24, 2016, after much contemplating, I had brain decompression surgery. The doctors assured me this was my only route. They informed me if I waited any longer, I could risk losing my sight, the activity of my limbs, and other irreversible damages. After the surgery, I felt worse than before. I spent majority of the summer of 2016 in and out of the hospital. I ended up with meningitis twice. The neurosurgeon was baffled by my decline in health. He informed me it could be a 1% chance that my body was rejecting the artificial graft. After 3 months of unbearable pain, on September 30th, 2016, I had brain decompression surgery again to remove the artificial graft and replace it with my body tissue. I felt immediate relief. The surgery didn't fix my previous symptoms, but it will prevent further symptoms from occurring. I also have less headaches. God is a keeper, and I thank him for keeping me. Hashtag Arnold Chiari Malformation, hashtag Zipperhead, hashtag awareness. There is two other things that I was going to share. Figure out how to get to them. Y'all, can you tell I don't use Facebook that often? We can go here. Okay. Let's go here first. It says this was 2 weeks after the surgery. It says, I just woke up from a nap. I guess you guys think all I do is sleep. And this is after the second surgery. But stick with me, it's going to bless you. I raised my head from the pillow without any thought, got up, walked toward the bathroom as usual, and then it hit me. The devil thought he had me, but God turned it. I'm 2 weeks post-op today from my second brain decompression surgery, and I feel amazing. 2 weeks after the first surgery, I could barely lift my head, nonetheless walk around without any support. It's so easy to take the little things in life for granted until God shows you what it's like to be without them. Grateful. Hashtag cheer up. Hashtag it could be worse. Another one here. The 31st. Transparent moment. And this is after the second surgery. And the reason I had to have the second surgery was, again, my body just was rejecting basically the artificial graft. There were so many tests ran on me. I remember one day, and I couldn't find the picture, but there were over 20 vials of blood sitting on my bed that they had drawn from me so the infectious disease doctor could look at it. They had put me on steroids. They had to give me several spinal taps. And to this day, my back aches horribly, but the spinal taps would draw the fluid off. If anybody knows, I think your spinal fluid is supposed to be somewhere in the low numbers. I'm not sure if it's full double digits, but mine would be up in the 30s. And so they would have to take it off so that I could feel some pressure. Relieve some pressure. It's a transparent moment. I gained a total of 40 pounds due to the meds I've had to take. After the surgery, I was so sick. I lost a lot of weight. My thighs literally look like Tiamber's, and you know how small she is. I took my last set of meds last week from the second surgery, and more than likely, some of the weight will fall off. In some, I'll have to work it off. But here's the transparency. I walked past the mirror and I quickly saw myself and told Dre, I hate what I look like. I hate it. God immediately convicted me. I physically feel better than I felt in 2 years. God covered me not once, but twice while someone cut the back of my head and exposed my brain. Yet, I want to complain about something as small as weight. It is so easy to complain. I should have been thanking God for my reflection in the mirror because that means I'm still here. I'm challenging myself for every negative thought that comes to my mind. I will replace it with 2 positives. I'm determined to change my train of thought about this weight. Join me. Hashtag 4 weeks post surgery. People ask me, why do I smile all the time? I've been told that my smile is fake. There's no way a person can be this happy. There's no way a person can experience this much joy. But let me tell you, when your life has flashed before you, when you've seen the death angel come in and God takes home one of his own, when you have faced death head on, literally, I'll never forget when the doctor came into the room and told me about the 1% chance. And he said, so the only other option would be to take it out and see. And I didn't think twice. I didn't consult with my husband. I said, take it out. My husband looked at me like, wait a minute, we just did 3 months of, and you're saying take, but there was not, what good was I going to be to him, to my children, if I was to continue the way that I was? I just couldn't. I couldn't live like that. And so it was either it was going to correct it or I probably wouldn't be here. But I knew I couldn't stay in that particular state. And thankfully, let me tell you, from the first time when I got out and couldn't do anything, the doctor came in after the second surgery and I was up. I was using the bathroom. I had already used the bathroom. I was walking around. That night, I walked around the ICU floor while other patients were on ventilators, where the last time, I think I was probably the only person up on that floor. The last time I couldn't even move. I couldn't get up. I couldn't do anything. Here, literally after the surgery, it was like I was this whole new person. And the doctor took a picture of the graft that he put in my head, and it was like a 2x2, whatever. My body attacked it. And so the antibodies in my body knew that that was a foreign object and it did not belong, and it attacked it. It was a hole in the center of it, and there were it looked like bite marks, like something was just eating away at it, and that was my body rejecting it. I'm gonna share this one reluctantly. I was trying to go not to this one. But this was June 2017 when I originally shared this. Sitting on the porch, our power had been out. I shared it again a year later because you don't really know what I was going through during this time. June 1st, 2017, I had just I wasn't even a full 11 months from I was probably right at 11 months from the first surgery. 9 months, 10 months, no, 12 months, from the second, no, 9 months from the second surgery. My mom had just had to have heart surgery that January. She also had surgery while I was in the hospital. After the second surgery, she went in, and it was a lot. And I just remember I didn't get to do the therapy that I needed to do, any of that because my mom was ill. And so I had to get back in the game so I could help take care of my mom. So on this particular day, 6 months after my mom had brain surgery, but I mean, not brain surgery, heart surgery, and 6 months before she passes away, I'm sitting on the porch. It was raining. Our power had been going in and out. And I'll read it. It says, our power has been going in and out with the rain. I've literally bruised my body in several places this morning, bumping into things. I've already shared the incident with Desi this morning. Sunday's sermon talked about Mary being highly favored by God, and with that status, there will be a text. I'm sitting on the porch, determined to bless God while he fights my battles. I belong to God, and that's that on that. I pray my rawness, who knew we'd be talking about rawness in 2020, blesses someone. Disclaimer, the words aren't correct. My voice isn't the best, but it's from my heart. To God be the glory. I think this is the best part for me to end with and open up if there's any questions. But this is my mantra. I sang this song even on the day that my mom was passing, and we gathered around her bed for prayer. Like, I don't care what I'm going through. I'm not going to try to force the God that I love down anybody's throat. I am in no way, shape, form perfect. Like, I'm a mess, a whole mess, which is all the more reason for me to serve God, because he knows I'm a mess. He created me. But my joy is my joy. And it's kind of like the scripture says, the joy of the Lord is my strength. And so if that's where I'm gonna get my joy from, and that's who I go to, then I'm gonna smile. The Bible also tells me that when I'm weak, that's when he's strong. I'm gonna smile. Like, so if the smile irritates you, I don't apologize for it. If it makes you feel like it's fake, I don't apologize for it. But as I sit here, even dealing with some things that my children didn't know, but probably will know now, like, I have floaters, I think, in my right eye. I'm not 100% sure. But I need to go to the ophthalmologist because it's getting worse. And I do know that when things like this happen, there could be some things going on in my head, or even with my liver, because I have issues with my liver as well, which is a whole nother topic. But even in all that, the purpose of me sharing this part of me with you is because, again, this is the place where it's a safe place for us to have the uncomfortable but necessary conversations. And just like the ADHD video has made its way around, and it's a 3-hour video, I felt that it was just time for me to share this part of my life. And the reason why is because it can come across as me acting funny, or me, how can I say it, acting different when I have these moments where my body is not being what I need it to be. My body isn't being faithful to me. And so most times I will retreat, but my retreat is nothing personal to anybody else. Like, if I don't know nothing, I know that life is too short to get caught up in mess. Life is too short to live off drama. Life is too short to care what anybody thinks about you. Life is too short for you to be anything other than your best self. And the other thing is, God created me for me. There's something that only I can do, because that's the purpose, that's the gift that God instilled in me. And for each and every one of you, there is something that only you can do, that God created you because only you can do it. Nobody else can do it. Nobody can do it. Because it's your assignment. And so we have to realize that we're not in place, if we're not in position, if we're not where we're supposed to be, and position does not mean you're at church or you're in position could very well be at the bus stop at 6 a.m. because God is going to send somebody your way at that time of the morning who's thinking about taking their life, but a conversation with you changes the way they feel. So I'm not even trying to take this to this big spiritual level. I'm just saying, know that you have purpose. Know that your life has purpose. Know that your life matters. I don't care how bad it looks. Understand me when I say it. Stay at home mother, very smart, IQ higher than those 110% or something like that, higher than I just know it's higher than average for my age, which further says, I should be further along in life, da 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 da. But then when I'm down, it took 14 people to replace me, and 2 of my baby's therapies had to be canceled until I was better. So I had to realize what my true value was. And I encourage you to realize what your true value is. I've put the name out there, Arnold Chiari Malformation. So there's the awareness part. I share it with you, my journey. It won't be the same as somebody else's journey, but just be mindful that every disability, every disorder, every illness out there can't be seen. And if it can't be seen, we got to be careful about the things that we say about people, the words that we let fly out of our mouth about people, even in joking, because you never know who you're offending. You never know who you're hurting. You never know who you could be pushing over the edge. So I'm going to share this last video with you. And then I am going to, if you got questions for me, I'll answer them. God be the glory. To God be the glory. To God be the glory for the things He has done. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. To God be the glory for the things He has done. It's His power that saved me. It's His power that saved me. It's His power that saves me. Oh, to God be the glory. So the link is in the chat if anybody would like to come up. If you have any questions, if not, I've shared a piece of me with you that I'm not ashamed of. I have no shame at all. I just want to bring awareness, if that makes sense. I also want you to know that when I smile, it's kind of like Kirk Franklin's song, even though I hurt, I still smile. I smile. Because things could be so much worse. And somebody may look at me and say, well, but dog, you, like, your stuff is mm-mm, mm-mm. Somebody still got it worse. And that doesn't mean I don't get to feel. Yeah, I get to feel, but because of who I serve, I get to check my feelings, and I choose not to relish in the negative parts of it. I choose not to complain, because to me, and this is just to me, like, this isn't, that this is the whole my unprofessional opinion. And yes, I'm about to cry, but yeah, when I tell you these are tears of joy, these are tears of joy. Like, there were times that I didn't think I was going to be here. There were times I remember screaming my husband's name because I felt my legs about to go out and I didn't want to hit the floor. There were times my children couldn't even be children because I couldn't tolerate the slightest sound. There were times I couldn't even hold my baby. I spent 11 days in the hospital. This is after the surgery, away from my children. And as a mother, to see that, I learned two things. One, if God was to take me home today, my children are going to be fine. They've been raised. Desi is going to be fine. She has a village. My mom worried so much about Ivy and what would happen to him when she's gone. When I tell y'all that Ivy is better off than all of us, like, I look at him some days like, how? Like, resilient. So when I say tears of joy, yeah, I can smile through the whatever. Like, I met death at the door and God said no. So if that means I have to get on YouTube every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and pour out my entire life, if it saves one person, I've done my job. If I never get monetized, if I never bring in revenue, but I save one person, and when I say save, I'm not talking about the doors of the church are open. No, I'm talking about somebody who feel like they can't go on. They can't live. This life is too hard. I'm here to tell you that there are better days. Every day isn't Sunday. And God didn't promise us that every day would be all bright and sunshine and full of sunshine. And the truth is, if you're a believer, it seems like sometimes it's harder at you than it is non-believers. And the devil wants us to take that and run with it because then that gives him control. But no, I'm not less than. I'm not more than. I'm just me. What you see is what you get. And you can take it or leave it. But I'm going to give you what I got. So with that being said, I'm sorry for crying. CeeLo said, host, my question was, do more women have it than men? Actually, no. Like, I don't. There are some studies that say it's hereditary. Most people kind of make it through life and may not ever find out they have it. In children, if it's shown in them, then they are like really, their tonsils are really low. Let me one quick second. I'm sorry, I was not supposed to be crying. Thank you, babe. I'm gonna show you this. And maybe this will help. A little bit. So, yeah, forgive me. I will make a slideshow, not slideshow, but a video at some point, just kind of showing and documenting the way. But this is a great picture, and hopefully you can see it. So this is a brain. And some, Arnold Chiari Malformation. Arnold and Kyary are two doctors, and they're the ones that basically figured this out. It's a condition in which brain tissue extends into the spinal canal, present at birth. It occurs when part of the skull is abnormally small or mishappen. Symptoms include pain and trouble swallowing. Treatment may involve monitoring and surgery. Medication may be given to manage symptoms like pain. It's treatable by medical professional, requires medical diagnosis, lab tests, imaging, definitely, and it's chronic, it's lifelong. This here says can last for years or be lifelong, and I'm sure there's probably somebody that has that has no symptoms whatsoever. I hadn't been that lucky, and I kind of feel like that's my thorn in my side, so that I can always be mindful of who God is, what he's able to do. And so for me, no matter how hard life gets, I can make it. Here on Google, it says, is Arnold Chiari Malformation hereditary? It says Kyary 1 malformation can run in families, so it may have a genetic cause. And then it just tells you again what it is. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys because I'm transparent, right? And I'm authentic, and yeah. So that's just a little bit about me. There's more. I have good days, I have bad days. You probably won't know. Like, I'll retreat, but you probably won't know. But I'm grateful. I thank God for my husband. Y'all, he's an intercessor out of this world. Like, there was never a night that I had to stay at the hospital by myself. How is that possible? But he made it possible. My children, my oldest children, they stepped up to the plate. Like, they're some soldiers. Like, they're strong. My maiden name is Hardaway, and we often say Hardaway strong, but I just believe it's something to that Hardaway blood, because they are Hardaway strong. And so yeah, I just wanted to share that piece. Again, not for sympathy at all, but for awareness and to give you a little insight about me. So when you come on and I'm smiling, and even if I'm angry, smiling, it's just because I got life. Like, I'm living. Not only am I living, but I can see. I will be going to get my eye checked out. I don't know when. Sometime within this week, because it is getting worse. It's gotten worse over the last few days. And probably have to get my liver enzymes checked too. And that's just me being transparent with you. But at the end of the day, to God be the glory. And for me, it'll always be to God be the glory. Because his plan is greater than any plan that I could establish for myself. And so, because I know that, that's why I never push him on anybody. If you don't know him, I'm sorry. Hopefully my smile will make you want to know them. Hopefully my story will make you want to know them, but I'll never push them on anybody. And with that being said, let's see. Nobody wants to call in, so that's okay. Thank you, Crystal G. This darn StreamYard cutting up. It's been cutting up too. I'm gonna have to look for my phone. Oh wow. Oh wow. Y'all forgive me, because StreamYard is not showing any of these comments. So let me just look at them. Okay, hold on, because I am that person that will drop my phone. And I need my phone. But I do want to look at the chat. Rosie, thank you. Rosie said, true, people rarely have MRIs unless they have symptoms. Yes. The positive mukbanger. God has a purpose and a plan for your life. Amen. Yours too. Everybody on here. Everybody he created. CeeLo said he doing better than me, talking about my brother. Yes, he's doing better than all of us. Crystal, yes, that 3-hour video. No, I'm sorry, CeeLo. Yes, that 3-hour video. It's circulating, and I didn't realize how taboo ADHD was or is in adulthood. So yeah, I'm not ashamed to talk about it, especially if it'll free somebody. I'm sorry, because I literally did not see. Hey, real giveaway guy, what's up, brother? He said I could do the typewriter if you're feeling bad. No, you're liquid paper, remember? I'm sorry, y'all. I did not see any of these. Please forgive me. Thank you for coming. Hi, Life of Sanaya. Or is it Sanya? Glory, divine inspired mantra. Yes. AW says, how did you help ease your pain before surgery? And do you know how many people of color tend to be diagnosed with Arnold Chiari Malformation? Managing my pain, I am one that refuses to take pain meds unless I'm really, really hurting. I tried a chiropractor first, and then that's when I went to see my husband's frat brother, who, well, both were my husband's frat brothers, but chiropractor first. And what made me go ahead and do the surgery was seeing the pain management specialist, who is also my husband's frat brother, and him telling me, no, you gotta get this fixed, and then we can come back and deal with your pain. I never went back to deal with my pain. Even now, like with back pain, and I still get neck pain and the migraines. The migraines, I deal with them accordingly with medicine, but I try to stay away from narcotics as much as I can. I am a firm believer in CBD. I'm a firm believer in hemp. I'm a firm believer in cannabis. And that's just me telling you the honest to God's truth. I've researched it. I researched it for my child back in 2013. And it works. Like, there's an article somewhere floating around on Google where you'll see me trying tinctures for CBD for my headaches, and it helps with not only headaches but pain, and it's natural. People are quick to say, well, we don't know what the side effects of that will be. Well, if we know what the side effects of cigarettes are, if we know what the side effects of cigars are, then, and they're not helping with pain or anxiety issues, then we should just deduce in deductive reasoning. CeeLo said, Crystal G, she looking just like Auntie. The older I get, the more I look like my mama. And as far as people of color, I know 2 men here locally, but I also saw a lot of people that look like me in the clinic. So yeah, it's just, I guess, because, and this may sound so bad, but because we're so ingrained to deal with pain, to work through pain, to push through pain, most times people don't go necessarily get certain things checked out. So I will be curious to see how many people, like, if autopsies showed how many people actually had it and passed away never knowing that they had it. Vanessa House said Uncle Pete and Aunt B, and that's my grandmother and grandfather, would be so proud of you. And she finna make me cry. Uncle Pete and Aunt B would be so proud of you for the inspiration you give. So glad I tuned in because I'm tired of hearing about racism, politics. To God be the glory. Good night. To God be the glory. That's all I got. Like, to God be the glory. Thank you. You're beautiful, the positive mukbanger. But God, what? Oh, that but girl, don't you make me flip this whole thing over. Yeah. AW said there's nothing wrong with crying if you need to. I promise you they're tears of joy though. Don't get me wrong, I can cry. Hi Oliver. I'm doing okay. Yes, talk loud. Keish says only the strong survive. And that's real talk. And here's the thing, like, sometimes it's not even about you being strong. It's just about making sure that you have yourself in a community that's strong. Because there was a period where I couldn't even carry me. I had to be carried, but I didn't miss a beat. And so, and I thank God for that. Like, my family, yeah. CeeLo said, wait, what? Liver? We'll talk about it later, child. Don't worry about it. AW says, by his stripes, we are healed. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Dre said, hey, Keish, welcome in. Keish, she being petty too, because I told him about what you said. So if nobody wants to call in, I'm actually quite proud of myself because we're at like an hour. Lord help me. See, little stuff like that happens. An hour and 22 minutes. So that's pretty good. I'm still open if anybody has questions. I will tell you that September, I'll go a little bit more into detail. I'll try to get with the people that I do know locally to see if some of them would like to talk, and especially some of their spouses. Because being married, I asked my husband would he do the after show with me, because after every live I do an after show with it, which is just a snippet about what I talked about, just in case somebody don't want to actually watch this live, but just want to catch the summary. And I asked my husband would he do it with me, because you need to hear from the spouse. Like, and you'll see once I put the video together, since I wasn't able to put the pictures up. I mean, he's laying right there in the hospital bed with me. The pictures that are being taken, when I'm walking down the hall with the walker, he took that picture. He was right there the entire time. And so I thank God. I thank God for him. I thank God for my children. And I will say this. I don't know what anybody believes is, but if you believe in God, if you don't teach your children anything else, teach them how to pray. There's nothing greater than having your children pray over you. There's nothing greater than having your children pray for you. There's nothing greater than knowing that you have children that can go to war if they have to in prayer. And I'm not saying they're perfect. They're kids. We're human. We're not supposed to be perfect. But they can pray. They know God. Well, if nobody has anything, I still say to God be the glory. I hit 700 subscribers today, and I was so geeked that yeah, I'm still geeked about that. Like 700 now, mind you, the goal is 1,000 to even start any monetization, But it was just something about that 7 and knowing that there was only 300 more to go, and then 7 and 10. And I don't know, I like numbers, 7 is completion. 3, I don't know, but it makes me think about the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. 10, I don't know what that means, but anyway. So yeah, I'm excited. Real excited, like excited. So anyway, thank everybody for coming in tonight. Keish, see, channel wise, Talking Loud with Keisha's in here. She has a channel. You guys reach out to her. Oliver Just, Rosie Go Lightly, the Positive Mukbanger, reach out to her. Like they have it's was unbeknownst to me, as I would say. There's like a beef sector on YouTube. I don't know much about it, but the Positive Mukbanger and I have decided we're going to create a positive sector on YouTube. Let me make sure. TR News and Reviews, as well as the TR Show. I actually have him in the description. The Real Giveaway Guy. Listen, connect yourself with him. Dre and I went to visit him for the first time yesterday. And when I tell you, we laughed so hard that our jaws were hurting. Like, this man is hilarious. He should be a comedian. And so the typewriter dance is because his mama made him some MC Hammer pants. But you can go over to his channel and catch yesterday's live. He's hilarious. Thank you, Vanessa House. TR News and Reviews is in here as well, but also the TR Show. So both of those. And he has great news topics. So check that out. I want to make sure I'm calling out. Hey, Misty. I did not know you were in here. Forgive me. Misty, it's me. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, that's everybody. Teacher D Vlogs, thank you, content, thank you, Kevin Adams, Chris Thorne Show. Literally everybody in here pretty much has our content creators, so just go look them up. Jam Dung My Views, just look them up, and subscribe, like, share, comments, and please, very important, that you hit the red button and then hit the bell with the double things around it, because you're not officially subscribed to the channel until you do that. And then if you could like or dislike the videos. The BBK says like, thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever you like. I mean, if you want more content, tell me what you want, and I get to as best I can. But anyway, y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. We'll talk about it again in September, for sure. Saturday, we're with Brunch with Iseashia. We're going to talk about parenting, and broken relationships, and restoring relationships, and is it necessary? Does the Bible require us to? I don't know if TR is in here, but I may even get him to help me with that one if he's willing. We shall see. But I love you guys. I thank you guys for just joining and tuning in with me tonight. Please click like, share, hit that red button if you have not. Yeah, and I look forward to seeing you guys Saturday, and I will try to get the other video out for you before Saturday. If not, you'll have it by September for sure. As far as the voting video, not video, but voting shows, we are going to do them. It's going to be a 3-part series, and it's actually going to be the history of voting, and we're going to try to cover Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, Tea Party, make up a party, just so that we can even understand, refresh ourselves on that. Try to do it the first week of July, since that's Independence Day week fireworks. Yay. But yeah, okay. Love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. I'm sending lots of peace, joy, love, blessings your way. And remember, whatever you do it with love. I love you guys. Genuinely. I wouldn't say it if it weren't true. And I'm so thankful for everybody. And again, thank you to all of my 700 subscribers. Thank y'all so much for just trusting me enough to visit with me, check out my videos, laugh with me, cry with me, and just do life with me. And yeah, that's a good thing. So yeah, I thank you guys. Have a great night. And until next time, love you. Bye. Keep your head up. And remember, you have purpose. And your purpose is a purpose that only you can feel. Nobody else can feel it. So yeah, there's no competition there. We need you. All right. Have a great night, guys. Bye.